up, ladies and gentlemen? Kulon here, and welcome back to each and every one of you. And of course, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. I am very happy to have you here. In today's video, of course, we are taking a look at the Jailer. More specifically, taking a look at the Jailer and how exactly his story will play out. Is this just another Illidan story, or is there more to the Jailer, to Zovaal, the ultimate evil? Or in a very recent interview, or at least a very recent reveal, we were told that the Jailer is an evil older than reality itself. So how exactly does all of that play into it? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. But before you do, remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also smash that bell if you want more content like this. If you dislike the content, you can just hit the dislike button. I will not hold that against you. In fact, I won't even know who you are. So you're absolutely allowed to do that. Also, remember, if you want to take part in all of our lore discussions live, that happens every Sunday right here on YouTube with the Sunday Night Chill Show. Also, Twitch. The link is in the description down below every Tuesday to Friday. I hope to see you there. And with that said, Alex, roll the video.
So in order to... This is actually... Blizzard isn't just setting up the Jailer as some kind of misunderstood evil. Right? In every other expansion that we've ever had, Blizzard have sort of tried to explain to us the human side of the enemy that we're fighting there, right? So they've always tried to make us see both sides of the argument, if you will. This is the first expansion ever that Blizzard is doing their fucking utmost, right? Their absolute utmost to prove to us how evil the Jailer is. The question, of course, that almost every single one of us, especially over on the Discord, what we've been having, the main question for us is why? What exactly is it that the Jailer did? Because we're told by the Primus, that the Jailer betrayed them. He was their brother once, and he betrayed them. And for that, his punishment was eternal damnation. Nothing short of it would do. Eternal damnation to the Maw, the inescapable Maw, to forever become the Jailer of the absolute irredeemable. But what exactly did he do? That is still the one thing that none of us understand. What did he do? Now, according to Bolvar, he is an evil older than reality itself. We already discussed this. So, when did he do this? When did he do this extremely evil thing? And to what extent does this fit into the overarching story of what we experience within the Shadowlands right now? Now, in order to look at this, we have to sort of try and tie in everything we know about the Jailer in a way that, I guess, it's not things that we know, obviously, because otherwise I would just tell you. It's more, and I do apologize that I'm taking a bit longer to do this theory, but this isn't a theory that I had planned. This is just a question that popped up in chat. That's why I love doing these fucking live, bro. It makes me happy because there's always something that pops up in chat that I didn't plan, and it just makes so much more interesting. So the question that you asked was Illidan versus the Jailer. Now, Illidan is the perfect example of the misunderstood hero, right? What Illidan did was for the good of Azeroth, even though no one else could truly understand it. No one else could see it because he didn't want to tell people. I don't believe that that is who the Jailer is. I don't think what the Jailer wanted to do is a good thing. Now, if our theory is correct, and at one point all of these cosmological forces were one, they were part of the same world, What if the evil thing that the jailer did was way back then? So in other words, it is before time almost for us. What if that's why we don't know? Because this is something that happened so many eons before we even existed on this planet, before we could even know what exists on this planet. Now, there is a couple of things that's very interesting about this that we've obviously spoken about before, but that it's worth saying. Devos. Or Devos. Devos tells us, we just did the dungeon, when was this? Was it Thursday or Friday? We did Spires of Ascension. Very cool fucking dungeon. By the way, the dungeons, Shadowlands, off the hook, bro. Absolutely amazing. But we're doing this dungeon, and when you get to the top of the Spires of Ascension, Devos is fighting the Archon, not the Archon, the leader of, I believe, the House of Humility, Carestia. I think she was fighting Carestia, which would be the Archon. Yeah, I think she was fighting Carestia, the Archon. I don't know. Carestia is just sticking in my mind right now, but it might have been someone else. Anyways, so she's fighting this Paragon, if you will. Although it might have been the Archon. I want to say the Archon, but fuck it. Off the top of my head, let's go with Paragon, but it may have been the Archon. Yeah? She's fighting Carestia. And in this, she tells Carestia, as I listen to the words of the jailer, he explained to me how we imprisoned ourselves, how we've been lied to. And he will set us free from the prison we built for ourselves. Now that became very interesting to me. He told her how he was betrayed, right? Then he told her that they built a prison for themselves and that he could set them free from that prison. Now, we could argue that every single villain in the history of forever, if you don't know what I'm talking about, very easy, go watch any Bond film. Every single villain in the history of forever believes that they have been betrayed and simply misunderstood, right? So we could argue that's all the jailer really is. He's just, fucking nuts. He's just another villain that believes that he's been betrayed. But the prison bit. Now, we know that the Forsworn, or the Kyrians in this regard, we know that they are in some kind of prison, right? Their memories are removed. Now, this is something that I really think should be sort of reiterated on, because a lot of people seem to misunderstand when I said this the first time. So I do want to point this out. I told you guys way back, like 2 weeks ago or something, I told you guys that I believe the only denizens of the Shadowlands that is allowed to go into reality is the Kyrians. Now, a lot of people immediately came back with, oh, but what about the Draca cinematic that clearly showed that they were on the world with the demons? I did say 100% reality. I believe that the denizens of the Shadowlands can move into any of the other realities, or into any of the other dimensions. I think they can go into the Twisting Nether. They may even be able to go into the Void. That is their job, after all, to protect the Shadowlands. Reality, as it were, I believe is something very specific, something very special. The reason the memories are removed from Kyrians is to ensure that they do not interfere with reality. That they do not take matters into their own hands, as we saw Devos and Uther do. Because as soon as Devos got her memories back, as soon as Uther sort of broke the fourth wall for Devos, what was the first thing she did? She realized that the whole fucking thing is rigged. It's a scamaz. Now, in this, we should probably talk a little bit about Nobble's newest video. Most of you should have seen it. It's a question we have asked multiple times on the stream as well. All right, Nobble asks, he asked about irredeemable souls. We discussed it on Twitch. We were watching it actually on Twitch. So Nobble asks the question, is there such a thing as irredeemable souls? And what he's talking about is the direct ask, or the question really directly relates to, is there a soul that would actually be sent into the Maw? Remember, we were told that the Maw is this place of absolute suffering, where only the most vile and irredeemable of souls go to be saved. And Noble asks the question, but is there such a soul? Does such a soul actively exist within the world? Now, you can go watch Noble's video, and I'll probably have a link for you guys if you really want to watch it, because it is really fucking good. The answer is very simple. Well, at least the problem with Noble's question is the question. It's not about whether or not a soul is irredeemable. It's about the purpose. There is no such thing as irredeemable. Not in the Shadowlands. Remember, all anima that goes into the Maw ends up in the hands of the Jailer. This thing that they 100% believe is the most evil of things. I mean, evil older than reality itself is the description we have of him. Do you really think they would risk giving him even a little bit of anima? Even a tiny bit of anima would probably be too much anima for this being that they know could destroy them if he gets free. The question shouldn't be, is there such a thing as irredeemable souls? Because of course there is. Of course there is souls that should not go to heaven, if you will, or that shouldn't go to a great afterlife. It was never meant to be that. The only souls that would find themselves inside the Twisting Nether are the ones touched by necromancy. See, I have a slight theory about necromancy. Now, we're told that Maldrax is the realm of necromancy. Yeah? It's where necromancy sort of originated from in the universe. I do not believe that Sylvanas contains any anima. I believe that once your soul has been brought back through necromancy, you have zero anima to give. Because necromancy as a fantasy thing is unnatural, right? In almost every fantasy universe, necromancy is illegal. It's untouchable. You do not go near it. You do not practice it, because necromancy disrupts and destructs the user as much as it destructs nature. Right? You're never allowed to touch necromancy in any other fantasy universe except for World of Warcraft, where we have Death Knights that actually practice it. I don't believe that Death Knights or any creature that's been brought back via necromancy consists of anima, and that soul would end up within the Maw. This answers the question, why did Sylvanas go straight into the Maw when she jumped off the top of Icecrown Citadel? Why? She wasn't at that point irredeemable. At that point, nothing she did would have made her irredeemable. Her soul was already cursed. Necromancy curses the soul. And I believe that this is why N'Zoth says the light has struck a bargain with the enemy of all. Because I believe that the only way you can practice necromancy in reality, the only way you can bring a soul back before it crosses into the Shadowlands is with the help of the Jailer and the Morsworn. It is the Morsworn that helps necromancy survive and flourish in reality, not Maldraxxus. And that's why I believe that Nobble's question was wrong. Is there such a thing as irredeemable souls? Of course there is. Will any soul go to the Maw? No. No. If the soul is truly evil and should go to the Maw, they'll just use it as a battery until they're done. But that is almost always how this works. End of discussion. So now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this off-the-cuff theory? Hopefully I did it justice. Hopefully.